there was a major story in the national news cycle about the Consumer Product Safety Commission proposing to ban gas stoves, which was mightily denounced by the restaurant industry and the 40% of Americans that currently cook using either natural gas or propane. While the proposal was quickly walked back by the Biden administration, unsaid was the continued war being waged at the local and state level. And Lori, if memory serves me correctly, in the newly passed Thrive Montgomery 2020 plan, it phased out natural gas in all buildings by 2035. So why this fight against natural gas, which is a relatively clean fossil fuel?
It's just one more thing they can really force us to change. I mean, you can educate and incentivize me, but don't tell me how to make my personal choices. And that's what they're doing. And our county always goes the extra mile. Even if the federal is not doing this, they're going to continue with it. Americans love their gas stoves. They're not yet hearing about this. When they start hearing about it, they're going to be really upset. I personally did my homework when I got my kitchen renovated, and I have an induction stove. I love it. I think it is the way to go. But I think that what we need to do is educate people. I never heard of an induction stove until I had an interior decorator who told me about it. It wasn't out there. It's a great way to cook, but you don't tell Americans how to cook. That's really going into your kitchen.
Let Guy Fieri tell you how to cook. Mike, what's going to happen here? I mean, it just seems, as Lori suggested, that the county is intruding on our own personal decisions on so many of these things.
So it's interesting, and I will candidly admit this is not an issue I was paying much attention to until we started to talk about this over the last couple of weeks. And interestingly, even just this morning, was watching a segment on the news program that talked about both the challenges from a natural gas perspective, but also, interestingly, the health issues associated with it that we're just starting to actually begin to see. And I don't pretend to have spent much more time than I did this morning listening to the news broadcast, so I don't know that those are fully formed, if they're not fully formed, but I think it's an interesting discussion aligning both the health and the environmental element that I look forward to learning more about in the coming weeks.
Yeah, well, whenever there's pushback, claim there's a health benefit. That's really always.
There you go.
There you go. We gotta save that. Anyway, we got to stay tuned for parting shots when we come back from this very short break.